Okay, so welcome back. This is week 2 and day 1 of the 12-week workout challenge. I'm going to make the exercises the same but different. So I'm going to give you some more options for some of the same exercises that we were doing last week. A little bit harder this week, and we're going to add an exercise. So last week we did a circuit of 3 exercises. Now we're bumping it up to a circuit of 4. And the 4th one is going to be for your core. We didn't specifically focus on your core last time. So we're going to start like we did last time with the lower body exercise. It's going to be a squat, but literally with a twist, okay? So if you can do a full squat, you're going to descend all the way down. You're going to come up, twist your body at the top. Down, up, breathe in. And again, if your knees or your hips bother you, you don't have to go down all the way. You can do a half squat, twist. You can twist as you're coming up. So it's a full twist, kind of rotating as you come up. Make sure you have a good balance so you don't want to be tipping over one side to another. You could hurt yourself. Okay, so make sure that you feel well balanced before you actually do the rotation. If not, if you don't feel you're there yet, that's okay. Just do a regular squat, just like we did last week. With your weight on your heels, your hips and your knees are bending and straightening at the same time. Your back is straight, your body's nice and straight, and your core is tight. Okay, so that's exercise 1. Is a squat with a twist. And again, you can do a half squat with a twist if that's better for your knees. Now, for those of you who can't squat at all for whatever reason, back pain, knee issues, whatever, like we did last week, you can do donkey kicks. If you remember these ones here. Or, again, if these bother your knees, just keep your legs straight. But you may want to make it a little more difficult. So what you can do is you can stand sideways to the wall, and you can do a hip flexion, side leg raise, and a donkey kick. Hip, side, donkey kick. And again, if your knee bothers you, no problem. Just kick your leg out straight, the side, back. Straight, side, back. What you're going to do, because you're using just one leg at a time, is you do 30 seconds on one leg, and then you switch over to the other leg, and do the same thing here for 30 seconds, okay? And again, keep your legs straight if it bothers your knee. Okay, so that works more than just your glutes, which is what the donkey kick does. It works also your hip flexors and a tiny glute muscle called glute min. Gluteus minimus on the side here. Another option for the glutes, if you have a chair, a bench, a stability ball, is to do hip thrusters. This one's great for the glutes. What you do is you stand on your heels and thrust up. Squeeze your butt together, okay? Lay your head back so you don't strain your neck. Breathe in, out. Okay? So, that's a good option if your knees bother you on the squats. You may find that bending your knees, depending on what your knee condition is, even on these hip thrusters bothers you, no problem. Just go back to doing the straight leg stuff up here against the wall, okay? So, those are 3 options. 4 actually, 5, sorry. Squat with a twist, a full squat with a twist, or a half squat with a twist, squatting with no twist, donkey kicks, or the 3-way exercise, or hip thrusters. Okay, so lots of options for you for your lower body. We're going to do those for 1 minute, and remember, I'm going to go through 3 sets of these with you. The next is going to be push exercise, and like last week, what we're going to do is we're going to start with, if you can, okay, remember, your shoulders have to be good for this. If you feel any shoulder pain on this, modify how you're doing it to doing something else, but you don't want to cause yourself shoulder pain on this, okay? So your hands just outside your shoulders, on the ground, body straight, breathe in, out. Perhaps that's too much, drop to the knees, keep your body straight. Well, maybe that's too much. Again, we can bring the stability ball into it like we did last week. Not a problem. Okay, you just roll over on the stability ball. You can do this on an ottoman as well, or even a chair. Okay, the further out you go, the harder it is. The further back you roll, the easier it is. Same thing, hands are just outside the shoulders. Now, someone reminded me last week of a great exercise, which is a good alternative if even those are too difficult. Wall push-ups. I don't know why I didn't think of this. I think it was Lakshmi who reminded me of this, so thank you. So your hands are outside your shoulders, and just like push-up on the ground, gets harder the further away you are from the wall, easier the more vertical you are. And of course you have to raise your hands or lower your hands accordingly so that they stay in line with your shoulders. One more thing you can do with makeshift dumbbells or real dumbbells, use bottles of water, cans of food, or real dumbbells, you can do a chest press on the ground. This is like a push-up, so at the bottom position here, my hands are just outside my shoulders, and as I press up over my chest, I bring my hands together. So of course you can make this as easy as you want, using no weight, or as hard as you want by using as much weight in your hands as you would like, okay? So there are some options for you for the push muscles in your upper body, and now we're going to do the pull muscles. Same as last week, the first one I'm going to get you to try is bending over, so your legs are basically straight, just a slight bend in the knees, but that's it. You're not slouching, your back is straight, your chest is out, your core is tight, and you're going to pull your elbows to the ceiling and squeeze your shoulder blades. Breathing out. Except this time, last week you had your hands facing each other. This time, rotate your hands 90 degrees so that your palms are facing backwards. This gives you a wider row. Uses the muscles a little different. If you can, use some weight. Remember, don't have your head cranked back like this. Have your spine nice and straight, so you're kind of looking down to the ground at an angle. And again, you can make this as light or as heavy as you want. You still want to be able to do that rowing motion, but if you find that's too hard on your back, for example, and like last week, just use a chair. Using the weights or not, if you like, okay? So that's your options for your pull muscles, okay? So when I say push muscles, I'm talking about your pecs, your triceps, and your shoulders, the front of your shoulders. Your pull muscles are your lats, the big back muscle, your trapezius, rhomboids, which are in between your shoulder blades. That's why I'm big on asking you to squeeze your shoulder blades, and the rear of your shoulders, okay? So in doing those three exercise options, you have basically worked your whole upper body. Now for those of you, I just want to show you really quick, you might have a suspension trainer, a TRX like this. So for the push portion, what you can do is a TRX chest press, like this. Keep your body nice and straight, your core tight, and it's like a push-up. So my hands are just outside my shoulders, and as I push up, I bring my hands together. Breathe in and out. In and out. The more vertical I stand, the easier it is. The more angled I am, the harder it is. Okay? And for the pull exercise, you can do pull-ups like this. Keep your body straight again. The more vertical I am, easier it is, just like with the push-ups. Steeper the angle, harder it is. If you're doing these, I'm going to suggest that you make sure that there's a lot of friction between either your footwear or your bare feet and the floor you're on. So for example, the worst thing you could do probably is do this on carpet. It should be on some kind of hard floor where there's good friction. Either have rubber soles or use your bare feet so that your feet aren't likely to slide, because the more you angle yourself on that pull-up, the more likely you are to slide. And then of course you're going to crash down, hit your head, not good. So those are the first three exercises. We've done some different options this week, so it's the same but different. Now I'm going to add something for the core, okay? You can use a mat or not. I have a mat somewhere right here. My floor is pretty hard, so I'm just going to put it down. We're just going to do a simple exercise. It's good for your abdominals. This is a good introductory one. I'm going to recommend that you put your hands underneath your butt at first. What that does, flattens your pelvis, makes it less likely you'll experience back pain while you're doing this exercise, okay? Now from here, all you're going to do is pull your knees back to your chest, hold it for a second, and go down. So you breathe in and out. My heels are just tapping the ground as I go down. Come right back up. I'm pausing briefly at the top here. Giving my abs a good squeeze. Okay? So 4 exercises, one for your lower body, one for your upper body push muscles, one for your upper body pull muscles, and now we're involving the core. We're going to do each of those for 1 minute, so we're going to do 4, 1 minute each. Now, remember, work to the level of your fitness, okay? If you can only do 30 seconds, fine, and choose the exercise that works best for you. Don't forget that, okay? So, let's give it a go. Get my stopwatch. It's set for 1 minute. And are you ready? Get excited. Week 2, you did week 1. How was it? Don't forget to put comments in the Facebook group. We all want to see how you're doing, what exercises you're choosing, which ones are hard, which ones are easy, what you like, what you don't like, and if you come up with any suggestions, any gaps, any exercises you think would be good for me to put in that I haven't thought of, please make the suggestion. I'm adding 2 this week because the suggestions made last week. So here we go, okay? 30 seconds to 1 minute of the squat with twist. Here it is, okay? Of course, I'm going down all the way. So I've got good knees, good hips. But maybe you don't, so just go down halfway. Maybe the twisting's not good. Maybe you're not stable enough yet, so that's fine. Just do light little squats like this, okay? Right? We could also do the hip thrusters, right? If that's not working for you, the squatting. Squeeze your butt cheeks together at the top. Hold it. That might bother your knees. Not a problem. You try the donkey kicks against the wall. And don't forget, okay, all directions. Or if you can bend your knees, not a problem. Do 30 seconds aside of those, and then there's the minute marker, so we're into the next exercise. So this is the push-up. So, for those of you who can, full push-ups. Okay, see if you can do a minute's worth of these. Come all the way down to your nose, touches the ground. Don't let your body sag. Keep it nice and straight. Okay, maybe you can't do those, no problem. Maybe those are too hard on your knees, not a problem. Use the stability ball, right? Choose your distance that works for you. Again, you can use an ottoman, not a problem. Or, as Lakshmi suggested last week, wall push-ups. These are great. Good option here. For all you suspension trainer types, you can do the suspension trainer. Oh, there we go. That's 1 minute right there. Okay. Start right into the bent rope. Remember, we're taking a wider grip. Our palms are facing backwards this time. Maybe that's too much, not a problem. Just don't use any weight. Palms facing backwards. Maybe that's hurting your back. Not a problem. Grab a chair. Have a seat. Bend over. Same thing. And again, for you TRX types or suspension trainer types, all good. Grab the suspension trainer, pick your angle, and row. There we go though. That's another minute. So we're going to the last exercise. If you remember, these are the reverse crunches. Don't forget, put your hands under your butt. That'll protect your lower back. Maybe this is too easy for some of you. Put your legs out straight, raise them up. Or better yet, bicycle crunches. Rotate side to side. Pull your knee to your opposite elbow. Okay, whatever works. Don't forget to hold it at the top. Good squeeze here. There we go. 4 minutes. We got a 2-minute rest, and then we're back at it again. Okay, so not sure what exercises you chose for the first go around, but evaluate. Ask yourself what felt good, what maybe didn't feel good. A lot of people tend to think, and I talked about this last week, you know, you're feeling a little bit of pain in your shoulder, your knee, but I'm just going to work through it. Maybe not a good idea, okay? If your knee is hurting you in the joint, or your shoulder's hurting you in the joint, working through it is probably not going to make it better. It's going to make it worse, okay? So what I'm going to invite you to do, if that's happening, please try choosing a different exercise that will work better for that particular joint. Now you may be thinking, yeah, but I know I'm capable of doing low squats and I used to be able to do it. I'm really upset that I can't do it. Doesn't matter, okay? Let's get you stronger first, and then let's get you the treatment that maybe you need in order to get that joint working again. And let's do it one little bit at a time, pushing through it. Chances are if it's joint pain, it's only going to make it worse, okay? So I can't stress this enough. There's good pain. We talked about this last week. That's where you feel the muscles working, especially in the middle of the exercise. You feel that burn, that fatigue. It's like, oh, I don't know how much longer I can go on for. That's great. That's just a muscle fatigue. And then afterwards, you get that ongoing pain that, 1 day, 2 days later, where it's kind of hard to sit down, it's kind of hard to get up, and when I stretch, it's like, oh, wow, I feel that. In the muscles, that's great. Even in the tendons, like in the lat tendon or the pec tendon, you might feel it, or the tendons here, where they attach to the sternum. But, if you're feeling it in the joints, not good. If you have to, reach out to me and ask me for an alternative if none of these are working for you. I will give it to you, okay? But please don't try to work through joint pain. All right, here we go. We are back. I'm going to reset the timer to a minute. And we're back into the lower body exercise, the squats. Are you ready? 3, 2, 1, let's do it, okay? Nice and low for those who can, and twist as you come up. Twist, twist. Twist, breathe in, out, okay? Remember, keep the weight on the heels. Keep your core tight. Don't slouch when you do this. And for those of you who can't, just half squats. That's okay. If you can do a half squat and twist, that's great. This is working on your trunk mobility. Really try and separate at the trunk, okay? Up and separate, and separate, and separate. That's not working, no problem. You can do the hip thrusters, right? Squeeze those butt cheeks. You can do the donkey kicks with legs straight if necessary, and front, side, back as an alternative to work 3 different muscles in one movement, 30 seconds each. There we go. There's 1 minute right there. Great, we're into the push-ups. So, I'm going to start these ones just from my knees, okay? Not a problem. Make sure that, by the way, especially if you have knee problems, make sure you've got nice padding under your knees, not like what I'm doing here on a hard floor. Breathe in, out. Okay, again, maybe that's too hard, not a problem. We're working you up slowly, use the stability ball. One. Again, another alternative. I think the ball is going to stay put there. We'll leave it right there. That's good. Chest press, I can use weights or not. By the way, nice little twist. I can do a bridge as I'm doing a chest press. Just involve the glutes if you want to challenge yourself. Okay? Remember, I can hold on to weights or not. And the TRX. Or suspension trainer. There we go. There's the bell. Time to get to the rows. Here we go. Palms facing backwards. Maybe too heavy. No problem. One that I forgot to mention, if even bending over is too much, remember from last week, sitting up straight and pulling and squeezing those shoulder blades like you're pulling a band in the door. Sorry, I forgot about that one. Except this time my palms are down, okay? Or if you can bend over, use the chair. You can also do the one with the quote-unquote fake band, standing up if you like. Okay, but those are your options. You're going to go right to the bell. It's almost there. 5 more seconds to go. Just finish strong. Good squeeze on the shoulder blades and all of these rowing motions. Good squeeze on the shoulder blades. Great. Okay, there we go. And the last one is the ab exercise. Reverse crunches. If this is too hard, do one leg at a time. No problem. Too easy? Try 2 legs. If that's too easy, again, let's do the bicycle crunch. And you can go real fast with these ones too. But we'll finish up with the reverse crunch. Hands under your butt. Make sure your pelvis is flat. Maybe by this point you're getting tired, so feel free to switch to one leg. There we go. 2 sets. We are 67% of the way there. Set this for 2 minutes. Get a good rest. Remember, if you can't do 3 full sets at 1 minute each, don't worry about it. Back it off, okay? Just go down to 30 seconds or 45 seconds. Do only 30 seconds for one exercise, maybe 45 seconds for another. Whatever you can do, do as much as you can. But remember, don't over-challenge yourself. You should be able to, like I'm able to talk and I'm breathing a little bit heavy, but not much. You can breathe a little heavier than I am, and hopefully you will be by the end of the set. You'll be challenged, but you still should be able to get a few words in, okay? If you're absolutely so gassed that you can't talk and that you have to sit down, then lower it, okay? Slow it down. If you're using weights, use less weight. If you're doing the hardest exercise, choose an easier exercise. Remember, we want to grow into this slowly. This is only week 2 of a 12-week challenge, okay? We're not even at 5 exercises yet. That's going to be next week. We're going to get up to 5 exercises, and then from then on, we're going to stay at 5, and we're going to be manipulating those 5 exercises, making them harder, putting in more full body stuff for each set that we do, but you want to work up to it slowly. There's no rush. And as I said last week, and I haven't said it yet, but I should have, you're competing against you. You're not competing against anybody else. If you read in the comments that somebody, yeah, I was able to do squats, full squats with a twist, it was great. Don't be mad at yourself if you can't because of a back issue or a knee issue or some other issue. That's okay, we'll get you there, right? You know, if you've got the knees and the back for it, I promise you that if you stick with this and you keep at it, you'll be able to get there, but it's going to take time. So give yourself a break. Remember, it's you you're competing against, okay? All right, there we go. We are into the last set. I'm going to get rid of this. And squats, here we go. Twist, twist. Do these as fast as you can. Again, remember, working at your level of fitness, you don't want to kill yourself. You know, you do want to be able to breathe, okay? Half squats if you have to, not a problem. Okay, even just regular squats, if the twisting's too much, you may have vertigo, by the way. I know a lot of people have vertigo. I think I may have a little bit of it myself. Have to be careful when you change head positions when you got vertigo. Half squats, fine, not a problem, okay? You can do the hip thrusters. I'll show you on the chair. Right, just slide out on the chair. Here you go. Instead of the stability ball, I'm using the chair, okay, for the hip thrusters. Here's another option. Easiest way to get out of it is just drop to the ground. And you do the donkey kicks against the wall, or if you want to challenge yourself, up, side, kick back, up, side, kick back, 30 seconds aside. There we go. It's a minute, we're through that. We're into the push exercise. Okay. You can do push-ups on the ground or on my knees, like I've been showing you, or I can use the stability ball. Maybe I find that a little easy, so I roll out a little further. Remember, I can do this on an ottoman or a chair too. Oh, maybe that's getting a little too hard. Come back a bit. You can do the chest press on the ground. Weights this time. Remember, I can add the hip thruster in there with it if I want. Make it a little harder. And then, of course, for all the suspension trainer types, there you go. Okay? Oh, there we go. On to the pull exercise. Here we go. So again, and I should have stressed it last time, and I'm sorry that I didn't. If bending over is too much, no problem. Stand. If you have a resistance band you can use, great. Use the band. Put it in a door or wrap it around a post. There are door attachments for bands. Squeeze your shoulder blades here. Really squeeze. 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 Okay? But if you can, let's do the bent row. The knees bent just a bit. Core nice and tight. You're not slouching. Your head's not way back. Hold on to weights or not. Totally up to you. And use the chair. Okay, and we're just about there, so I'm going to set up for the final exercise. Here we go, we're just about done. Can you believe it? Okay, so again, maybe you're really tired now, and doing both legs together is hard. So one leg at a time, not a problem. Challenge it a bit, do 2 legs at a time, full leg raises. Used to have to do these, played high school football, drove me nuts. Always had a strong core though, so as nuts as it drove me, it wasn't really that hard to do. Almost there. Finish strong even if you have to go one leg at a time. Not a problem. Okay? And there it is. There's the bell. Folks, we did it. A little harder than last time. The exercises are mostly the same. The one that I really changed was the lower body exercise, the squat, to make it a little bit tougher. Okay, now we've got some rotation. You're trying to separate your trunk, so your upper body from your lower body, so really focus on that twist as much as you can. We tend to lose mobility as we get older, but there it is. So if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, drop them in the comments below, but enjoy and keep your eye out. Tuesday evening, day number 2 for week number 2 is going to be coming up, okay? Again, with some new exercise options.